Dr. Neva. So I just want to say to you, be careful when you borrow money. Be careful when you borrow money. Now, let me tell you, a few years ago, I wanted to move to Georgia, and I made a mistake, and of course I believe in sharing my mistakes, and hopefully someone can gain something from it, right? So I was in New York, and what I did, I basically borrowed the equity from my property. Now, you know, there's nothing wrong with borrowing the equity. However, you know, you got to be responsible, and things can happen as well. And I'm not saying that I'm not responsible, but you know, you just got to be very careful with borrowing. So I borrowed on the house, and one of the things that I did not know, and I mean I knew after the fact, but at that time I didn't know, was I wasn't able to get 2 home equity loans. So what happened, basically, I did not know I was going to be approved. So I went to 2 different banks. One loaned me $50,000, and the other bank loaned me $150,000. Actually, let me take that back. I went to 3 different banks. They all approved me, and I signed off. Yes, crazy. I mean, this is a few years back. This is like, what, maybe 15 years back, I would say. 15 years, if I'm counting right, give or take. So I got all these loans, and I go, oh, great. So the reason I borrowed the money, I wanted to, one, purchase a franchise, which I did, and that's a story for another time. And 2, I wanted to buy a house in Georgia. So I pulled the money to do that. Went to Georgia, bought this lovely 2-bedroom apartment home, and while being there, starting a brand new business, which was another mistake, meaning the mistake was buying a franchise in a new area that I didn't know, expecting to run it effectively, and that did not go well. In any case, realized my mistake, and I decided to, of course, later on find a job. But back to the situation at hand. So I borrowed 3 loans, and one bank, I guess, realized, and they contacted me, and they stopped the loan, but I already spent some of the money. The thing is, while I stayed in Georgia for, it was like a year and a half, having these loans, I was paying 3 different loans. I was paying around $700 per month on a business that was yielding 0 until I sold back the business to the franchisor, and did not know what I was doing. And sad enough, you know, sometimes they say speak to people, people can help you, or speak to the right individuals to give you advice. But I didn't trust anyone to give me advice. I just figured, oh, I had equity in the home, so why not borrow the money and use the money? You know, I had a good thought. I just did not know I was not able to do this. You're only supposed to have one equity, borrow one equity from the bank. So in the end, I actually I sold that property, and I tried to reinvest by buying a cheaper property, and I also paid back some of the loan. But the whole objective, why I'm sharing this with you, is financial responsibilities and how we're quick to get ourselves in trouble because we are want to get, we're quick to run, some of us, not all, but we're quick to run to maybe the bank, not doing our proper research on how things work, or maybe the person loan officers are there just to make sure you take the money. They're not really there to teach you what to do. So you really have to do your research before you move forward with getting yourself into such situation. And I'm saying this story because I know it's common practice with individuals that they will pack up, sell their home in one place, or use the money from one home to get another, and sometimes things does not work out. To even get this story even crazier, what happened to me. So remember, I sold one property, I bought another property, and I heard about a great deal on another property where they will rent back the place. So you purchase a place from them and they'll rent it back to someone for 1 year. So they had a tenant in the place for 1 year, except that they never had a tenant in that place at all. They just couldn't rent it out, but they sold you that story, or they sold me that story, that I will, not just myself, because there were others that, swamped to this, and a lot were from the north, like when I say the north, New York, New Jersey, coming up to the warm state, Georgia. So they use their money or equity on their home to purchase other places, rental properties, and so in the end, guys, the 2 properties that I had in Georgia, I actually had to do a short sale on it. And of course, that was during the time of the house crisis. The market was down and everything. So I ended up doing a short sale on that, but I still had to pay the bank on the equities that I got. So again, just like anything else, and I there's some people out there like, well, yes, you should have done your research. Yes, and listen, sometimes we even do our research and we don't get the full information, and life is just an experience, and if you want to be successful, there are going to be risks, and you got to take it, and you learn from your experience. So that's the reason why I'm sharing my story with you, so that if you're watching this video, I assume the title grabbed you and you wanted to hear what I had to say. So I'm just giving you the knowledge that you don't end up in a situation that I did. Now, can borrowing money also bring you to another platform, like you're able to win? Yes, of course. Was I able to win in other situations? Yes. And in another video, I can tell you about that. But be careful in borrowing money, because at the end, if you do the math, the bank wins, not necessarily you. All right, lovely. So until another time, I appreciate you watching this video. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, just to like, share your comments, subscribe, because I would love to give you more information, and I'm all about empowering, and I'm hoping that I can motivate you to do the right things. All right, until next time, bye-bye.